Hello there. Because inflation is rising so sharply, the British Prime Minister promises state aid for low-income earners. The rich, on the other hand, should pay more taxes in the future, but I only believe that when I see it. But for Rishi Sunak, if there's one day that matters this week, it's today, because today the British Prime Minister will sit on the green bench in the House of Commons and listen to his Chancellor of the Exchequer of Finance Minister Jeremy Hunt announce one thing above all else. Bad news, because prior to his budget speech, Hunt did some expectation management. On Sky News, for example, it sounded like this: "We are all going to have to pay more taxes, I'm afraid." Really all? Well, Sunak and Hunt have identified a budget deficit of a good £50 billion, and others are already talking about 100. The two want to plug this hole with spending cuts and tax increases, but there should also be good news insofar as that is even possible with an inflation rate of 10%. In any case, according to the conservative newspaper Times, the minimum wage is to rise from £9.50 to £10.40 per hour, and that would be an increase of almost 10%, roughly the value of the inflation rate, roughly. In Westminster, it's said that wage increases for low earners should not stop there. Pensions and social benefits are also to be adjusted in line with inflation. The government's goal is to help the poorest in the country, in particular, to get through the winter. In addition, there is a price cap for gas, which has benefited all households since October. If Sunak and Hunt have their way, this cap should last until April. After that, the prices are likely to be adjusted and upwards. So the question remains where the money will come from. According to reports, Sunak and Hunt primarily want to ask those who earn very well to pay. So far, the UK's top tax rate of 45% starts with an annual income of £150,000. That threshold is set to drop to £125,000, which would bring the state significantly more revenue. And according to British media, Sunak and Hunt are planning £22 billion in tax hikes, which should also include an increase in the excess profit tax for energy companies, or the windfall tax. The volume of spending cuts is reported to be £33 billion. The government will probably not only cancel planned infrastructure projects such as the construction of new routes for high-speed trains, but will also save on defence spending. In any case, Sunak has so far avoided as far as possible to confirm a corresponding plan by his predecessor Liz Truss. The former Prime Minister wanted to increase defence spending to 3% of economic output and thus exceed NATO's 2% target. Sunak is no longer talking about that. He seems satisfied that Great Britain, unlike Germany still, is one of those NATO countries that have reached the previous 2% target. And it looks like the Prime Minister has other concerns. Sunak's aim is to meet the expectations of the international markets with the budget plans, as he's already said this week. And that expectation is just over £50 billion that London is supposed to save. In government circles, it's therefore assumed that the sum of all the tax increases and spending cuts should bring by no means less than that. In any case, Sunak wants to avoid that the financial markets become unsettled again. When his predecessor Truss announced unfunded tax cuts, hedge funds in particular caused UK government bond yields to rise so much that the Bank of England had to intervene. The pound sterling also came under massive pressure. And Sunak wants to prevent such a scenario. And so today, one message in particular should come from London. Solid economic activity is once again taking place there. But we will have to wait and see. And I have to comment on one thing. There are always people complaining about me also calling them illegal migrants that are coming via the channel with small boats. It is about legal terms, and if you want to know why this is the exact term, have a look on my video from Sunday evening, last Sunday. I explained everything on the basis of the legal framework. And I'll see you in my next video. I'll be back.